Namaskar, good evening, salam alaikum, bonjour. President, Excellencies, my colleague committee members, partner chambers in India, ladies and gentlemen, viewers from India, Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and Djibouti. A warm welcome to all of you. It is an absolutely privilege and honor for me to recognize the presence of the distinguished speakers today. I welcome His Excellency Ashok Kumar, our very dynamic and active ambassador of India in Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ahmad Osman Ali, the Governor of Central Bank of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, the President of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, His Excellency Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, the Chairman Ports and Free Zone Authority Djibouti, Mr. Ashish Chauhan, the MD and CEO of the Bombay Stock Exchange. So once again, I, on behalf of the Chamber, welcome you all the distinguished dignitaries at this August webinar. In difficult time of COVID pandemic, when physical interactions are becoming difficult, this kind of virtual webinar creates an opportunity to capitalize on our indigenous manufacturing strength. India today has become one of the most preferred locations for subcontracting across key sectors, including automobile, machine tools, aerospace, defense, oil and gas, mining, process industry, industrial automation, electricals, and health sector as well. The manufacturing sector of India has the potential to reach $1 trillion by 2025, and India is expected to rank among the top three growing economies and manufacturing destination of the world in the coming year. The implementation of the GST will make India a common market with a GDP of $2 trillion, along with a population of 1.2 billion people, which will be a big draw for investors. We have a win-win situation, foreign to invest in India and Djibouti as well. Both the chamber, the Indo-Arab Chamber and Indo-African Chamber, deals with about 75 countries or more. It is many a time very difficult for us to do justice with individual countries. So this kind of a webinar creates and gives a variety of choice to the business community to evaluate the potential, the scope, the scale of preference to identify, select a good partner to promote their own businesses. The main object of this webinar is to bring the business community of both India and Djibouti more closer, and the private stakeholder who are looking for exploring the business opportunities in various sectors like food processing, IT, ICT, finance and banking, education, skill development, super specialty hospital, fisheries, and many more. As you all know that Djibouti is a multi-ethnic nation, smallest in the mainland of Africa. It serves as a gateway to the Suez Canal, which is the world's busiest shipping route. Djibouti city is the capital and largest settlement in Djibouti, situated in the Horn of Africa. Since we have excellent speakers from the important sectors, they'll talk more about the opportunities. Hence, I'm not talking much on the subject matter, but just would like to add one thing, that many a time it is seen that the people plan to do business by looking at the size of the country. So for those, I would like to inform that please do not judge any country by its size. Always see the scope, the potential opportunity, the ratio of success, the size of market, and the percentage of profit. These are doing business with a stable government and good logistic facilities. I must mention here that our ambassador, Mr. Ashok Kumar, has taken a lot of sincere efforts in liaising with the Djibouti side, and the result is before you that we have galaxy of the speaker. So thank you, sir. Now about the first speaker of today. His Excellency Mr. Ashok Kumar is an alumnus of the prestigious University of Delhi. He's also earned MPhil in Geology from Department of Geology, University of Delhi. He is an IFS 1998 batch. He has served in the Embassy of India in Syria. Then he moved to Consulate General of India, Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Later on in 2006, he joined the headquarters and worked as Deputy Secretary in East and Southern Africa Division and Finance Division. He was later posted in Embassy of India, Berlin, and then he moved in Mauritius and served as Deputy High Commissioner for 4.5 years. Before joining as Ambassador of India to Djibouti, he was deployed as Joint Secretary, Hindi and Sanskrit at the Ministry of External Affairs from December 2017 to mid-April 2019. And today, he is our Ambassador of India in Djibouti. We were to lead the business delegation to Djibouti, but due to unforeseen contingencies of COVID, it has disturbed our program and we had to postpone. I had the privilege to work with Mr. Ashok Kumar in 2004 onwards in Jeddah, wherein my chamber led various high-power business delegation, took active participation in many events in Jeddah. So now, sir, I welcome you once again, and the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunandaji. Namaskar. Good afternoon and Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I thank the distinguished speakers from both sides and welcome His Excellency Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, President Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ahmad Osman Ali, Governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, Chairman of Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authority, Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan, Managing Director and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, and the moderator of the webinar, Mrs. Sunanda Rajendran, Founding Director and Secretary General, Indo-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Executive Director, Indo-Arab Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The Embassy of India is a new mission started in April 2019. Before that, Embassy of India in Addis Ababa was looking after the interests of India in Djibouti with the support of Honorary Consul of India, Mr. Nalin Kothari. Today indeed is a very important day that we have a distinguished panel of speakers to explore new avenues and opportunities to strengthen India-Djibouti business and commercial ties during the COVID pandemic, which has affected the economies all over the world and also restricted the movement of the people globally. We are living in difficult times and hence require serious thought on cooperation with each other for economic recovery. India, as a responsible democracy, has taken unprecedented measures towards safety of its people from COVID-19 pandemic, has resulted in the contraction in its economy in first quarter of financial year 2020-2021, coinciding with the lockdown. However, it is still noteworthy that there are sectors of positive growth like agriculture, communication and broadcasting, storage and banking, etc., which shows that fundamentals of Indian economy are strong. The Economic Intelligence Unit forecasts that India will be one of the few countries which will recover fastest, and that India will also be among the few countries that will get back to high growth path. India and Djibouti share excellent bilateral relations, which are historic and are based on cultural affinities and people-to-people contacts. Before the independence of India and Djibouti, it was always a hub of maritime trade, where Indian traders brought spices and silk for gold and ivory. India has launched Operation Rahat in April 2015 for evacuation of Indians and foreign nationals from conflict-hit region of Yemen. Government of Djibouti extended its fullest support to India for successful execution of Operation Rahat. Djibouti is a factor of stability in the region. Government of India has conferred its second highest civilian honor, Padma Vibhushan, on the President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh in 2019. The President of the Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, had visited India 3 times. For his first visit, he was accompanied by his finance minister and a business delegation in May 2003. During his second visit, the President of the Republic led Djiboutian delegation to the 3rd India-Africa Forum Summit in October 2015 and also held a bilateral meeting with Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji. Last time, the President of the Republic led the Djiboutian delegation and participated in the founding conference of the International Solar Alliance in March 2018, where he had the gathering, and also met the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi ji. From India, the Honorable President of India, Sri Ramnath Kovind ji, paid a state visit to Djibouti in October 2017 which was his first state visit after taking over the office. India-Djibouti bilateral trade uh, stood at modest level of US dollar to 806 million in financial year 2018 and 19. India is exporting foodstuffs, iron and steel products, paper and plastic products, machinery, yarn and fabric, etc. to Djibouti. There are immense potentials and possibilities of engagement of Indian and Djiboutian companies in further promoting and diversifying trade and business in new areas of mutual interest. Djibouti has undertaken a massive efforts to modernize its economy. India is ready to support its aspiration to become a major economic center and gateway to the East African region. Government of Djibouti has also taken a long-term strategy to build the country's future under Vision 2035. The core principles of Vision 2035, among others, are based on diversification of its economy and investment in human resources, which would lead to 3 times growth in per capita income and creation of more than 200,000 jobs by 2035. Djibouti has made substantial economic growth in recent years with the heavy investment in infrastructure sector primarily by the government. The private sector of Djibouti is in nascent stage, and the Indian private sector can extend support to Djibouti as it play a leading role in India's economic development. In recent years, the government of India has taken a series of economic reforms to make Indian economy more competitive and business friendly. These reforms, which are a continuous process, has resulted in India becoming the fifth largest economy of the world with a nominal GDP of nearly US $3 trillion. India aspires to reach to a nominal GDP of US $5 trillion by 2024. India will be happy to share her experiences of economic development with friendly country of Djibouti in fulfilling its Vision 2035. I hope that the deliberations of today's webinar will lead into a better understanding of each other's economic strength and new areas of cooperation. Indian business person will become more aware of growing opportunities in Djibouti and its role as gateway to larger economies of the region. The Djiboutian business person will also appreciate the inherent economic strength of India and vast opportunities it offers for business under the mission Atmanirbhar Bharat and Made for the World alongside Make in India vision of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji. The embassy will extend all possible support to strengthen Indo-Djiboutian bilateral relations, particularly our economic and commercial ties. We will also extend help in holding business-to-business meetings between companies of India and Djibouti. I thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you, sir. His Excellency Yusuf Dawali, I think, has come in the attendance. So I have to make those technical changes for that. So with all your permission of the chair, I would like to request and promote Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan as the next speaker. And by the time we will bring His Excellency Yusuf. So,
Please go ahead.
yeah, thank you so much, sir. So the next speaker is Mr. Ashish Kumar Chauhan. Ashish Kumar Chauhan is the MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, Asia's oldest exchange, world's fastest exchange with 6 microsecond response time, world's largest exchange with 5,000 plus listed companies, India's first universal exchange to offer trading across all asset classes. He's credited with reviving BSE and completed its IPO, which was oversubscribed more than 51 times. He was instrumental in setting up India's first international exchange, inaugurated by Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, in January 2017. Prior to joining Bombay Stock Exchange from 2000 to 2009, Ashish ji worked in Reliance Industry, India's largest conglomerate, as president and group CIO, head of corporate communication and CEO of cricket team Mumbai Indians in its formative years. From 1993 to 2000, he set up India's national stock exchange, primarily on technology screen-based trading system, satellite communication network, equities and derivatives, businesses and Nifty index amongst his many responsibility. He is considered the father of modern financial derivatives in India due to his work at National Stock Exchange. He received several Indian and international awards, including Distinguished Alumni Award from both his Alama Master IIT Mumbai and IIM Kolkata, which is a rare achievement. He has also been awarded Digital Icon of the Year by Indian Express Group and ranked amongst the top CEOs in financial market by Asian Banker, amongst top 50 CIOs in the world by the Information Week US. He is a member of several committees, the Government of India, regulators and international association. He is a member of the board of director at IIM Raipur, NIFM Faridabad, Gokhale Institute of Politics and Economic, and he served as an IT Manipur. He is a distinguished visiting faculty of Reiners University in Toronto and honorary professor at Nottingham University Business School. He's co-authored a book on the history of BSc titled The Temple of Wealth Creation. So welcome you, sir. The floor is all yours.
His Excellency Shri Ashok Kumarji, His Excellency Mr. Yusuf Dawali, His Excellency Mr. Ahmad Osman Ali, His Excellency Mr. Abu Bakar Umar Haji, Madam Sunanda Rajendran. Friends, it's an honor to be in front of you today, and I would like to thank His Excellency Shri Ashok Kumarji for giving me this opportunity. My job is to today talk about the progress that India has made in financial areas, especially using of financial technologies in a frugal way to reach out to the poorest of poor and the richest of rich in India. As you are aware, India is one of the fastest growing countries for last 30 years. Average growth rate has been phenomenal, more than 7.5% over last 30 years. And that has given India a heft with a total GDP of more than 3 trillion US dollars already. It's in the first top 5 economies of the world, and all the financial sector entities that are available in any parts of the world, whether they are banks or mutual funds or investment bankers or stock markets for trading, clearing, settlement, microfinance entities, payment processing entities, hedge funds, lending and borrowing of various things, collateral management, insurance entities, equities, venture capitals, and they have been existing for hundreds of years in India. And there are 4 parts of the financial ecosystem, which we define as transaction processing, where anyone wanting to buy insurance, we complete that insurance process, or anyone wanting to buy stocks or making payments. This is all part of the transaction processing. India is pretty much the world leaders in the transaction processing. I will tell you how. The second part, other than the transaction processing, which is a very fundamental part of the financial ecosystem, is information processing, that everyone needs to know what is happening to that transaction, or on aggregate basis, on a macro basis or micro basis. So the information processing for 1.3 billion people, especially in their financial activities, is a very fundamental part. And India is again market leader or the world leader in information processing. The third part, where India is pretty much leading the world, is in compliance or regulatory technologies. Post the world financial crisis, there has been tremendous amount of compliance that has come in. And of course, with FATF and other things, every country is expected to ensure that the money laundering and other things do not take place in their jurisdiction. And that's why the regulatory technologies or compliance technologies have become very important. India is again basically the world leader in providing the technologies for those kind of activities. And the last part, which is absolutely important for any developing countries or developed countries to work, is what I call prediction technologies. Ability to predict what is going to happen in future in financial sector as well as in the economy and rest of the world. And that's where again India excels in providing those technological solutions to any country in the world. To give you a perspective, almost all large banks across the world, whether they are from Germany like Deutsche Bank, or they are from America like Bank of New York, or any other self-respecting entities in banking, would have their large back office in India. For example, Bank of New York would have 25,000 people center in Pune, which is a city 100 kilometers from Mumbai, where I stay. And they provide all the back office supports and running of technology sitting there in Pune. During the 70 days lockdown of India due to COVID, India actually made the entire world's banking system, entire world's financial system, not only by providing technology, but also running those technologies across the world. And that has been well appreciated by the entire world. Why did India become so good in providing technology to the banking and also the stock market and microfinance and every type of system, including the central banks of the rest of the world? Is because from early 90s, India started providing technology solutions to rest of the world. Today, if there are 6 top banking system or even central banking system providers in the world, 3 of them have origins in India. One of them is Infosys, which is an Indian company with almost 300,000 people as their employees. There is another company called TCS, Tata Consulting Services, which is probably 450,000 employees. And they are also an Indian company providing technology in many areas, but including in banking. They both have systems, softwares, which they actually provide as the package softwares. They are package softwares which you can buy and run full banks on them. And Oracle has now a subsidiary called COSIL, which is listed in India, but it was started by Citibank in India for providing software solutions to them. And now it has become a major service provider or more major software solution providers to rest of the world for banking systems. So effectively, we have companies, IT companies, which provide huge expertise in financial system, but also the foreign companies, foreign banking systems or foreign mutual funds. For example, Fidelity, which is the world's largest mutual funds, has 50,000 people office in Bangalore, providing all the technology support. Similarly, Goldman Sachs, world's largest investment banking company with a bank, also has a very large setup in Bangalore, India. And similarly, McKinsey, which is a large consulting company, has a very large setup in Chennai. So effectively, India provides not only the financial technology related softwares, but also the actually end-to-end framework for running the entire banks and their IT systems sitting here in India or putting people in your own country. In stock markets, India's market capitalization today is around $2.1 trillion. It's almost 65% or 67% of its total economy size. No other developing country in the world has that kind of economic systems where the banking and the stock markets go hand in hand. And BSE has almost 5,000 companies listed on itself. It's the world's largest exchange in terms of number of stock listed. BSE was set up in 1875, almost 145 years back. So it has a huge tradition of creating those markets for not only large companies, but in BSE also has a segment for small and medium sector enterprises and startups where you can raise even up to 100,000 US dollars. As little as 100,000 US dollars are being raised from public by creating a regulatory framework, by creating software systems which are available on 300,000 terminals across India, and more than 5.4 million, more than 54 million investors are registered to trade on BSE. So that is the kind of reach across India's every zip code. India has more than 600,000 zip codes and 1.35 billion people, out of which already 54 million people are rich enough and available to invest in India's stock markets. BSE also provides technology for software, hardware, and also manpower support to any country that is required under the leadership and guidance of our Ministry of External Affairs. Recently, BSE is in the process of setting up a new exchange, which is a Pan-African exchange called Afrinex at Mauritius, which I am sure will be able to provide stock exchange services to Djibouti and all the other African nations who are desirous of raising money or trading in derivatives or trading in commodities using that platform, which is being set up specifically for Africa using Indian technologies, but will be run out of Mauritius as the requirement of their government, which was made to our Ministry of External Affairs. That doesn't mean that BSE cannot provide extra or additional facilities or new exchange technology to Djibouti. If you are so desirous, we can do that, and also create a framework for you to do regulations to create the trust markets for raising equities for not only large companies but also small companies for raising funds from your own citizens and also citizens from across Africa and across the world. BSE and the entire ecosystem have been providing screen-based trading since 1995, and today BSE's capacity includes 500,000 orders in 1 second. So we can take literally a million orders in 2 seconds and almost 30 million orders in 1 minute. And so it is one of the fastest response time, having exchange with 6 microseconds response. In 1 second, there are a million microseconds. We give you a response at 150,000 of a second. And a large portion of all our orders from across India and across the world come from algorithm trading or high frequency trading, it is called. So we have tremendous experience of setting up stock exchanges, clearing houses, depositories for not only equities, but derivatives, currencies, commodities. Even now we trade or we distribute mutual funds, as well as we started distributing insurance products across India recently. So we can provide you end-to-end technologies to your requirements in whatever way you want. And there are Indian private entities which can come with us to provide you very low cost, very frugal, but better than the best of the world situations in technology. For example, India is also a world leader in providing technology for micro payments. Literally, you can spend or you can pay money from one mobile phone to another mobile phone or one bank to another bank across any accounts. There are 700 million accounts in India today, out of which almost more than half have been raised in last 6 years alone because of a framework called Jan Dhan Aadhaar Mobile. There is a social security number which India has created called Aadhaar. Using that, poorest of poor in India, connected to their mobile, can bank on Indian banking system, and still the government is able to provide all subsidies to a person, the remotest person, the poorest person in India, by a switch of a button, by press of a button. Literally, for 400 million people are getting their monthly checks from government, but within microseconds it reaches their accounts, and from that moment they can use those money using their mobile phones. Similarly, the same technology has allowed government to provide food grains to 800 million people during the COVID times. Over last 6 months, India has been providing those people with food grain and money without anyone taking away those money or any middleman taking away the food ration. 800 million people are basically have been provided free food and will be provided free food as per the government framework till December of this year. That is basically to give you an idea of the scale at which India can operate, but the cost of making transactions on Indian financial system is close to zero or almost nil. Today, you can send from your bank account even 1 cent, $1 or 1.1 cent or 0.01 cent from your account to my account with no cost incurred by you. And not only from you to me, but every person in India can send the money to any person in India from any bank account to any bank account, or any mobile to any bank account, or any bank account to any mobile. All this is happening at zero cost. In fact, it's the other way around. There are companies which are funded by foreigners also, and also Indians, who actually pay you money for transacting on their platform. But it may be possible for a large country like India. But the cost and the technological framework which India's Reserve Bank of India, which is equivalent to the Djibouti Central Bank, has created a switch called NPCI, National Payment Corporation of India, which is also desirous under our Honorable Prime Minister's vision to provide similar technologies to any country which wants to do this at the lowest cost, which will basically connect all bank accounts in any country to all mobile phones at zero cost. And those are the kind of technologies which India specializes in, what I call frugal, very high scale, very secure technologies, and which can change the government's ability to reach out to the poorest people, and also provide subsidies, provide anything, and make them transact on at a moment's notice And that's what India has basically been able to do it. No other country, including China, which works on a single particular company's technology called WeChat. India allows what we call interoperability. Any bank can talk to any bank and nobody owns that platform. And that ensures that you are not slave to one particular country, one particular technology, and so on. Similarly, Americans, when they come to visit India, or when I speak at United Nations or I teach in America, they tell me that India has leapfrogged by 30 years into financial technologies, not only in other technologies. Of course, we do a lot of leapfrogging, but the technologies which we use in finance, there is no comparison in the world. And the cost at which we produce those technologies, or we are able to offer you, especially if it is government to government, there is no comparison from stock markets to microfinance to banking to central banking or any other technology. We are pretty much having private sector, which is able to provide you those services at the cost which is unheard of. And that, I think, is what I wanted to convey today. Anytime anyone wants to have any questions answered, or anytime in future also, if you want to connect to India for financial technology related work, please feel free to call me or our embassy in Djibouti to ensure that we can get you in touch with the best and the brightest of our youngsters, who and also the largest companies as well as the smallest companies who can basically provide services to your nation. And in case you require regulatory frameworks, we have, of course, experts who can provide you those frameworks also, and also provide any consultancy that is required. There are countries which provide you what I call hard infrastructure. They can provide you bridges, roads, ports, other things. But India's financial sector or India's technology companies can provide you what I call soft infrastructure. The world is going to run on the future using soft infrastructure. Of course, you should make the roads, best railways, best everything. But if you do not have the soft infrastructure, your hard infrastructure will have no meaning. So my request is, look at what is available in India and try to, in case you require, we would be there to support you as a friendly country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ashishji. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that our Djibouti side will definitely make use of this note. We have His Excellency the Governor, we have the Chamber of Commerce President, we have a able leadership, Ashok Kumar sir. We'll soon look forward to have a stock exchange in Djibouti. So with that note, thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to give the presence to His Excellency Yusuf Musa Dawali, the current President of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce. He's joined us. So welcome you, sir. And His Excellency Dawali is one of the leading figure of the Djiboutian business community. He is a degree holder in international business and began to gain experience in business activities. He then established its first company specialized in import-export of food products. Since 1994, attracted by the fish production, he took over the management of the large fish market and started to export fishery product to the countries in the region. He is a multilingual, has a taste for contact and faces many other challenges while diversifying its activities. Especially with the creation of the Dawali Construction Company, thus beyond its activity in the building and public work, Dawali Construction is one of the companies in Djibouti's pioneer in real estate development. From 1993 to 2003, he was associate member in the General Assembly of Djibouti Chamber of Commerce during the presidency of the late Said Ali Kabuche. Man of the action, conviction, His Excellency Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, the President of the Chamber of Commerce, is the consular institution since December 2013, is to be used its best endeavor to further the interest of private sector, contribute to the country's economic development through the Djibouti Chamber of Commerce. Sir, through this platform, I want to assure you that many leading construction companies from India will join you soon. So far as both the chambers are concerned, there is a request that through the office of our ambassador, we will soon send you the memorandums which we propose to sign with your esteemed Chamber of Commerce, because you are one of the oldest chamber and elder brother in the field. And with these words, the momentum taken the reason behind signing the MOU is that this kind of a seminar and this kind of a business promotion activity, the momentum should go on. and the interest should not die, because you see, when, as I was mentioning, that there are 55 African countries and 22 Arab countries. So every country has to be in the queue, and every country has to promote themselves. So if we are partner in progress, so like this, we can have many more webinars, virtual B2B meeting, and any other things which requires for the promotion of private sector holder, for MSME, and for other people, strengthening the India-Djibouti bilateral relation in many fold. So, sir, I welcome you and request you to kindly address our August gathering. Thank you so much. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, my sister Rajendra. I'm very honored to participate on this webinar. Thank you to Excellency Kumar for this opportunity. I think that everybody hear me.
Hear you.
I just want to say that Djibouti Chamber of Commerce, as you know, is the oldest institution in the country. It was created in 1907, on the 1907, and from there we progress or we develop with the country.
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Will you please speak a little louder? We can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes, sir. We can see you now and hear you.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And I just said, Excellencies, thank you very much. Thank you to Excellency Kumar who give us this opportunity. Excellency Rajendran from the Indo-African Chamber and Indo-Arab Chamber. We thank you, Excellencies, President of the Port Authority and Free Zones in Djibouti. Mr. Excellency Ahmad Osman, the Governor. And Mr. Excellency Shohan Ashish, who are with us today. Thank you to give us this opportunity. This is the first time that I really had the opportunity to discuss about the bilateral relation in business way with the Indo-African Chamber. And it's really, we are great to participate on this webinar. As I said, the Chamber of Commerce of Djibouti is the oldest institution created in 1907 in the country. At that time, it was a French colonized country, as you know. And from there, the Chamber participates for the development of the economy of this country. If I give you some memorized, let's say, agenda that the Chamber of Commerce with the French colonized system, we linked the previous president of Chamber of Commerce was been one of the active member who linked US dollar to the franc Djibouti. 1948. It means from 1948 up to now, the franc Djibouti and dollars is linked. It's permanent, and this is an opportunity for business-wise and business relation amongst to the import-export activities. I will leave the details for the governor, but I just want to say that the Chamber of Commerce participate on that history event. The second very important point that I would like to add is the Chamber of Commerce, who was been with the participation of many other actors at that time in 1974, create the first free zone in the country. I will leave the rest of the activities that it will be sharing with us, with the President of the Port Authority, what is going, how Djibouti is moving, and how we are proud to be Djibouti today, the position that Djibouti has got in logistic activities. If I come back to the business to business relation, as I said, we are willing to welcome the delegation coming from India, as Ambassador Kumar was saying before. But first, honestly, it was been difficult for the COVID-19 reason. I hope that we will see each other face to face and exchange the point concerning the business to business relation. What I would like to add for the information that I had, Djibouti has got priorities in terms of investments. The first priority of investments that it will be given clearly or in details, it will be with Mr. Abu Bakr, His Excellency Abu Bakr Omar, who is in charge for the port and free zone authorities activities. But what I can say is Djibouti is a liberal country from the start of Djibouti in 1879. From 1879 until now, Djibouti is a liberal country for businesses. As you know, many opportunities was being done between the business community, Indian business community, and Djiboutian business community for importing rice, sugar, plastic, and other products coming from India. India and Djibouti has got a very long history because, as you know, Bombay is in front of, when you see the map, Djibouti's map and India map, we see in front the Bombay in front of us. It means when you travel direct from Djibouti to Bombay, it takes like 3 hours flight. But fortunately, at this moment, we don't have a direct flight, but we have to pass through Addis Ababa or through Dubai to make our trip. I was been part of the 2003 visit, a presidential visit in India, as I already said, and we had a very large experiences concerning how India is growing very, very, very quick. If I come back to the point of business also, previously Mr. Chauhan was saying that the technology, telecommunication is one of the parts also that we are willing to have as a partner with Indian business community. It's very important that we are listening whatever it was going on mobile banking. Djibouti also is trying to make it more active in terms of mobile banking, and I hope that the governor will give us more details on this point. If I come back on the GDP per sector, in 2017, the tertiary, it means the services was been 18%, 18.2% exactly. And the secondary was been 17.3%, primary was 2.4%. As you see, we are a country of services, and a country of services need to have as a partner with the Indian friends, Indians company, Indians partnership to grow in Africa. As you mentioned, Madam, I'm also in charge for the Pan-African Chamber of Commerce as a chairman for 2 years. And we have this opportunity to make in the platform that Djibouti as a gateway can be also a country who can be a platform for the business among to the other rest of the continent in the region and in general for the sub-Saharan countries. If I summarize, I know that I have got a very few times. If I summarize in business-wise, Djibouti is a liberal country. We have got the chance or the opportunity that today we are linked with the dollar. It means that we have no fluctuation of money in terms of other, compared to other countries in the region. We are developing many activities linked with the business community, and the business community that among to the country, we are representing the all private sector, foreigner, as a foreigner or national, we don't have a difference of appreciation. And as soon as the person has got a license in Djibouti, he's part of the business community in Djibouti. I will come back soon to the points that I have to develop on it. I think that the point that we have to clarify concerning on the business to business, we are really so much happy that soon we can organize together a webinar and be sure, madam, that I'm ready from my side to sign the MOU that normally we have to sign it in India or in Djibouti as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for those assurances. Of course, we have 40 years old entity and you are like an elder brother to us. We'll follow your directions and soon send you the MOU through our embassy. My only humble request is Djibouti has, of course, its own position as a logistic hub attached to 4-5 countries. We must make use of this great opportunity and this kind of a platform. And my request to you, sir, if you can organize a virtual B2B meeting with the members of your chamber, where we invite some prominent businessmen from your Chamber of Commerce who are interested, not only for trading, but for joint venture activity, whether they want India to come as a technology partner. Our government also has a lot of incentive to offer. We have a able guidance of our ambassador here, and why not we can take those opportunity when COVID will finish and the normalcy will come. That time definitely we lead a delegation, but let's not miss this period as well. So we'll be differently talking to you, sir, again, and thank you very much once again. May I now call upon His Excellency Ahmad Osman Ali, the Governor of Central Bank of Djibouti. His Excellency Ahmad Osman Ali, since January 2013, holds a master's degree in economics and a degree in banking economic obtained in France. Before joining the central bank, Mr. Osman began his career in the field of higher education, where he was successively professor of economics at the Tours High School, the High School of Commerce and the High School of Management of Tours from 1985 to 89. He began a long and fruitful career at the central bank as Controller General of Operation at the National Bank of Djibouti and Head of Mission of the Department of Banking Supervision there from 1989 to 1997. He's then become the Executive Director in 1998. During this period, Mr. Osman directed all the bank's activities and initiated a major reform of the financial center by adopting regulatory text, central bank status, banking law, Islamic finance, microfinance development, reorganizing, strengthening the mission of the central bank, supervision, AML, FT, etc., conducting negotiations with Bretton Woods institution. Governor since 2013, Mr. Osman has continued reforms on the financial system, infrastructure, modernization of national payment system, improvement of the credit information system, introduction of creation of a guarantee fund for SME financing, creation of a national Sharia committee. So, sir, it is indeed an honor and privilege to invite you to address this August gathering. So we do have a French interpreter also along with us. So if you want to give your address in French, you're most welcome, and she'll follow you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ashisha Shohan. So I requested to, I have requested to have some translator, but I will try to speak in English first. If I tire, because my English is very limited, I will ask you maybe to continue in French. So by the respect for the people who are here present who are speaking in English, I start in English. And thank you very much, Mr. Ashok Kumar. You have an excellent and dynamic ambassador here in Djibouti, with who I have discussed several times about the cooperation between the two countries. about the situation that that India can help us in any issue. So today, with the organization of this webinar, is an excellent idea and good step to go forward. We'll thank also Mr. Ashisha for participating, because we have a lot of interest for me personally as a governor and for the financial sectors in general. I wish to thank you, Mr. Sunanda, for your animation, very professional animation, and welcome my colleague from Djibouti, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, Yusuf, my friend Abu Bakr, president of the Authority of the Port of Zone-France, and all the some of my colleagues who are following and from the bank and so on and so on. As you have mentioned before, Madam Sunanda, you have presented Djibouti very well, so it's very difficult to add something. You have made a very good presentation. Ashok Kumar, so His Excellency, also have made a good presentation, so that I don't want to make you lose time to come back to that presentation. Everybody knows that where we are, what are the position of Djibouti. So we have in Djibouti, we are in good hand, and it's a good time. So I will give you maybe some figures concerning the economy, concerning the financial sectors, and also some idea about the cooperation that we can have with India. So as mentioned before, Djibouti, we can repeat, yes, the main interest of Djibouti is his position. But this position was there years and years before. So now, since more than 20 years, with the leadership of His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, we have very clear political and economic understanding about how we can manage our competitiveness and competitive position. So we have behind the political geographic position, we have also here in Djibouti a very stable policy. We have the peace in this region that is known as a very troubled with our neighbors, Eritrea, Somalia. So very stable and management. So we are very young, as you have said, Ms. Shunanda before. We are only 43 years, and we have a lot to learn about very big and long history, like as India. We have my friend Yusuf. I forgot to tell you that also the Indians are so much that we have some of Djiboutians are from India, and part of them are the Nathan Kotari, who is here since maybe 2 or 3 generations. So we have a lot of small community here in Djibouti. Indians have a very good reputation for Djiboutian, as hard workers, clever people. So we look forward to work better and very fastly with your community and start to make a better understanding each other. So I will start to give you some idea about the context that we have in Djibouti. We are known since last 10 years a very growth situation. The growth go from 4 to 8 last years before the COVID. So with the COVID, we'll have some impact in Djibouti, as it will have in India or in all over the world. As IMF has said in recent publication, the world will know a recession around 5% in general. In Djibouti, we expect to have a recession for 1 point. So we, on the projection that we have for 8%, we go through a recession to 1 point. But this is very short time, and we hope that as we have already make a big step for the management of the COVID in Djibouti, we after have been experiencing two months of confinement. Now the things are going better and better. Even on the sanitary side, we don't have now almost nothing on people on sickness. The rate per day for the new contamination is very low, around maybe 1 or 3%. So we hope that in the school and every activity have go back to normal situation, and we hope after this years we'll again go back with the growth, and growth which is supported last years from the big investment in the side of the service that we are very efficient, particularly in the port, with the leadership of my friend Abu Bakr, who is working very hard for this bigger activity service in here in Djibouti. We in several years we left from 1 port or 2 ports to 6 ports now, and the future is very brilliant for this activity because we have Djibouti is geographically near of Ethiopia. It's our bigger customers, but Djibouti is also a member of the COMESA regions, and we are very active in that organization, who have already made a big step for the movement of the trade and the communication of the people between the country. Djibouti is also a member of the ZLECA. Djibouti have ratified the statute, so we have a very big challenge to make the aggregation of that regional and continental region. And for that, Djibouti have very big role to play, because Djibouti we have also several advantage, like the president of the Chamber of the Commerce have said, our currency is very stable. It's based on the currency board system that everybody know. Every Djibouti francs is covered 100% by US dollar. So this anchorage is almost more than 72 years. It's more older than the age of the country. We don't have any restriction for the capital. So if Indians came and invest in Djibouti, they can go back with their returns on investments. It's not like this, maybe almost in Africa and particularly in the neighbor country. So, and now after have seen all the fact that we can make a progress, that we have make a lot of reform, as you have said, Mr. Sunanda, and now we have by the legislation, all the things are updated to implement the mobile money system, the national payment system, and all the fintechs that India have a lot of experience for. And I thanks for that, Master. I forget the name. Ashish. Yes, sorry for the pronunciation. I apologize for the pronunciation. So I take all the points that you have answered on the competence, and that you can assist and help us. So this is the first step, and we will follow with the ambassador the possibility to work more hardly, more closely in all that issue that India can help us for the implementation of the fintechs. We have started already the implementation of to link a direct link between the bank. So the clearance settlement will be started virtually the beginning of the next year between the bank, and we will be on board all the Valley Mobile before the end of this year too. So we need the expertise and the experience that we can get from India, and known as you have mentioned Mr. Shohan, and a lot of experience. So the growth is there. The growth will go again on the faster position after the COVID. We hope also that India will make a big progress on the management of the COVID. I know that the country is improving a very hard time now. So I wish you all the best for the success of the policy that we can implement to fight correctly with the COVID. And so it will give us the opportunity maybe to visit India with my friend Yusuf Dawali, who have made the promise to go there. I will be very happy to follow him. So for the moment, I can maybe stand there and try to give you some answer if you have some question. So again, congratulations for the organization, efficient organization, and very good presentation that you have made for India product and issue that you can help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for the excellent address. And you're most welcome. Of course, you are in able hand. Our ambassador is there. And you're most welcome to visit Mumbai. When you come to India, please don't go to only Delhi. Please do come to Mumbai. We are in Mumbai, so don't forget. Our invitation is openly given to you. Please do come. And in Mumbai, we are having an excellent banking infrastructure. We have a very financial hub and expertise in banking. Of course, as Mr. Ashish Chauhan said, there are good private sector players who can be of, there could be a good synergy between your institution and the private players of Indian company. And in the time to come, we will work some good synergies with our with our ambassador, and we'll soon come back to you with these words. So thank you so much once again. So before I introduce, call upon the last speaker of the day, he is His Excellency Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, the chairman of Djibouti Port of Free Zone Authority. Since becoming chairman of Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority in 2011, Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi has been at the forefront of Djibouti's transformation into one of the fastest growing logistic hub in Africa. He has spearheaded project worth more than $15 billion, including the historic expansion of Djibouti's world-class port facilities, the development of a new free trade zone, the launch of a new passenger and cargo airline, Air Djibouti, and Djibouti Shipping Company. Mr. Hadi has almost 4 decades of experience working in the maritime transport industry. Between 2008 to 2011, he ran Nigeria's second busiest port in Lagos. He began his career with the Port of Djibouti in 1978, rising to the position of commercial director in 1999. In this time, he has played a central role in forging Ethiopia and Djibouti's strong trade relationship. Today, Djibouti is a vital partner for Ethiopian trade, serving the country's population of more than 100 million people. Fluent in English and French, Mr. Hadi holds degrees from Le Corbusier National des Arts at Marriott at France and the World Maritime University of Sweden. A member of the Chartered Institute of Transport, he is also a respected thought leader on international trade and logistics, writing for international media outlets including China Daily and CNBC Africa. This year, he was amongst the top 100 most influential Africans in Africa Report magazine inaugural ranking. So welcome you, sir, and over to you. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you, Madam Moderator. His Excellency Ashok Kumar, thank you also for this initiative, for organizing this webinar. Djibouti and India had and still have long trading history, and mainly on transportation. The dhows from Mumbai was coming to Djibouti, still they are coming, but it's not the relations. It's not trade relations. It's not as it used to be. Many businesses, they look the size of Djibouti market. So the GDP, the population, but they don't see the market behind Djibouti and what Djibouti can offer to connect India to the rest of the continent. In East Africa, we are very close geographically, culturally, we are very close to India than any Asian country. So we hope we restart and reinitiate these good relations and to connect our business people. Djibouti, what we did for the last 20 years, we built 6 ports. The 7th one, the President Ismail Mergele had led the foundation 2 weeks ago. So we are building the infrastructure to connect the continent to the rest of the world. We have also invested on free zones, the Meljog Industrial Free Zone, heavy industry, and the DIFTZ, Djibouti International Free Trade Zone. And so we are ready to welcome and accommodate Indian businesses in Djibouti. We have built deep sea ports to connect the continent, as I mentioned, to the rest of the world. The container terminals is minus 18 meters and the oil terminal is minus 20. Multi-purpose port, 15.35 meters. So what we are trying to build is a logistic hub, trading hub, to cut the cost of logistics, because there is an economy of scale. When you use larger vessels, the ocean freight is lower than when you use smaller ships. And unfortunately, in the African continent, we are only few ports which can offer deep sea ports. I don't know if you are familiar with shipping. I think you have heard about Panamax ship. But there was also Afromax. Afromax is the smallest ship. It means 8-meter depth. You have heard about Suezmax, Suez Canal maximum. So now we break that. We build deep sea ports which can accommodate Suezmax and Panamax ships. So that will lower the cost of transportation, the loss of logistics. Also, we are building roads and railways to connect our ports to the rest of the continent. What we are expecting from India is not only to bring trade, is to help us to build the infrastructure. You have mentioned 14 billion US dollars investment. We have only done 10% of that. These are projections for the next 10 years, but we have only invested 1.4 so far. So it was a discussion with Indian construction companies to build a railway, called the second railway, connecting the northern part of Ethiopia. So that also is a huge business to facilitate the trade, to ease the trade between the coast to the heart of the continent. Today, if you look around the continent, African continent, the deepest we can go inside the continent is less than 1,000 kilometers because of lack of infrastructure. Africa is the richest continent in the world with the poorest people in the world living. So the population also of Africa in 2050 will overtake Indian and China populations. So it's the right time now to be in Africa. For the company creation in the free zone, our rule and regulation are very smooth. You can create your company in 72 hours to establish your company and to start operating. So, so there is a many area Indian companies can invest in Djibouti. For the rest of the landlocked countries in Africa, we have 17 landlocked countries, and 10 are located in our area, East Africa. It's because East African countries from Egypt to South Africa, you have only 9 coastal countries. So East African countries have long sea coast. When you look at the west coast of the continent, from Morocco to Namibia, you have 21 coastal countries. So that has created a big number of landlocked countries in our region, very close to India. So we have to open up those countries to trade with the rest of the world and with India. Thank you.
Thank you, Excellency. I would like to just ask you one small question on behalf of the business community. Like, my chamber was in forefront when we had COSEC Senegal. They came, the Port Authority people, the chairman with his delegation, and we were able to meet certain companies who are interested in giving administrative services, technology services, IT and ICT to the port authorities. I would like to know what are the, like in Ethiopia, we have now a pharma free trade zone exclusively for encouraging pharmaceutical. We also have for IT, ICT. In Djibouti, do you have something like that in mind where you are making sectoral free zone, or directly we can come and we can join and take it? What are the other incentives you offer?
We don't have sectorial free zones, dedicated free zone for this kind of industries of this kind. It's open. The first one we developed is 48.2 square kilometers. So you can just come, we develop the road, all the facilities, the infrastructure. Either you build your own warehouse, or we can build for you. It's up to you, but you can also lease the land and build your own warehouse to put your factories or your storage or anything you wish to do. I didn't get the second one.
No, second one was, sir, as compared, for example, people of India, whenever they want to do business, they start their venture from UAE, like they go to Jebel Ali, they go to Ajman, they go to Ras Al Khaimah. So Djibouti also has its importance. Suppose if we can market, you should have some representation in India where people can regularly market about the Djibouti Free Trade Zone. They can encourage people, like Salalah Free Trade Zone, now they have new. So we are sending delegation, we are organizing seminars, encouraging, motivating people. And Djibouti is on a very important position because 60% of the business from here at Yemen goes via Djibouti. So why not make an opportunity and use of this? I just wanted to know an incentive part, what incentive you or your country offer to any exporter?
To an exporter. Yes, we're offering zero taxation. No corporate tax, no import duty tax. So we're considering that the business, for instance, in India, is not located in our free zone. It's located in India, extraterritoriality. So when you export from our free zone to the local market, or you export from our free zone to the neighboring countries, then if for the neighboring countries, no tax at all. It can move. It's a transit cargo. But if you sell on the local market, then the importer will pay the duty like if he was importing from India. So zero total tax. But what we want to have is the Indian factories in our free zone. Why the government is doing all this, giving all these incentives, is to create jobs. So we encourage you to not just to export from Mumbai factories, but you can start with pre-positioning the cargo and check the market. When you consolidate your business, then to move the factory. That's the whole objective. And it's a good proposal and good idea, what you have suggested. We will open in Mumbai, Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority.
You're most welcome, sir. Because, sir, to add this note that my chamber was in forefront right from 1992 launching of Jebel Ali Free Trade Zone. I had the privilege to work with His Excellency Saif Suleiman. From there to Ras Al Khaimah Free Zone, to Salalah Free Zone, you name the free zone, Senegal, we have been doing it. Because we have a good number of members who are focusing on Arab and African countries. We have more than 10,000 MSME members. So what I would request my ambassador that in near future, we can work out some synergies where we can talk about especially the free trade zone area and port authority, where we have people, segment of people who are interested in providing technology transfer for setting up free port authority, administration and those parts. And there are group of people whom we can invite to establish themselves in Djibouti and start their business with the neighboring country. So I will request now with this piece of note, thank you so much, sir, to be with us. And I would request our ambassador if he can upload some concluding remarks on some questions. Over to you, Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sunandaji. It was indeed very educative and informative session today. It's the first session we are having with our Djiboutian friends. So it's nice. I'm quite hopeful and optimistic that from now onward, we'll move forward on a more intense economic and our business partnership with Djibouti, as our participants are also saying that India can be a player in Djibouti. And I am very hopeful now that we will have more interactive sessions further also, and more also in close interaction with Chamber and with the office of Mr. Hadi, and also the governor of the Central Bank of Djibouti and other partners in Djibouti on our economic and business ties with Djibouti, and taking advantage of the free zone offering to our businesses. It's the Indian side also take up this and also take manufacturing what Mr. Hadi is offering, and for our Europe and Middle East and other countries, this option can also be explored by the Indian side. And Djiboutian side also explore the Indian offer given by the vast Indian economy offering to all over the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I now request my colleague committee member Sumit Sharma to propose a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Good evening, Excellencies, dignitaries, distinguished speakers of today's webinar. His Excellency Mr. Ashok Kumar, the Indian Ambassador to Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ahmad Osman Ali, the Governor of Central Bank of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawali, the President, Chamber of Commerce, Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Abu Bakr Omar Hadi, the Chairman, Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authority, Mr. Ashish Chauhan, the MD and CEO of Bombay Stock Exchange, Mama Africa, Madam Sunanda Rajendran, for her dynamic leadership and valuable directions as always, Ms. Neha Chetri for being there for the French translations, and all our viewers from India and overseas. I, Sumit Govind Sharma, on behalf of the Indo-African Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Indo-Arab Chamber of Commerce and Industries, would like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to the Embassy of India at Republic of Djibouti, His Excellency Mr. Ashok Kumar for his valued support and cooperation to make this webinar a grand success by mobilizing a galaxy of eminent speakers from Djibouti. We would also like to thank Mr. Ashish Chauhan for sparing his valuable time out of his busy schedule. We are confident that this webinar has provided all of us with a huge learning on Djibouti and helps us to explore business opportunities in Djibouti. I would also like to thank the teams of ISCCI and Group MRP for all their efforts and all the participants for giving us this gigantic support. We propose to arrange a series of virtual B2B meetings between businessmen from India and Djibouti by the end of this month on a few important sectors like construction, education, solar energy, skill development, and marine industries. Intimation of the same will be given to you all in due course. Tomorrow onwards, for the next 4 days, we have our first virtual B2B meeting sessions between businessmen from India and Namibia in association with our High Commissioner of India at Namibia. On September 23rd, we propose to bring another important country, Angola. So kindly block your dates for 23rd and do join us. Once again, thanking you all from the bottom of my heart and keep showering your love and affection on us. Signing off, Sumit Govind Sharma. Thank you.